Clutch Factor.
Hi everyone, I'm Chris,
I'm Asher.
and we are kicking off Asher's next summer business. Asher wants to produce a video this summer using artificial intelligence, but there's not a whole lot of money to be made in videos when you're doing a small summer business. So instead, Asher is going to produce a comic book.
Yep.
And he's going to do it with storyboard format, and then we'll take those videos, those storyboards, and put them into a video with VO or some other AI near the end to produce a trailer for his book.
Yeah.
So what was the first thing we did for your summer business?
All right. So the first thing we did for my summer business was to make a business plan. So, for example, making like a business name, which I had suggested as Amazing Comics, but the A had an AH as my initials, which I thought was pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
So, but I also had to calculate how much I would charge for my book and whatnot.
And before we jump into the financials, so this is a 2-page business plan.
Yes.
That if you use any sort of AI, that it can just generate for you. That's how we made it for Asher. He went through and filled in all the pages to look at his target customers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And now Asher's going to talk about the financial part.
Okay, so if you slide me the mouse real quick, thank you. So basically, we used this website called Kablam that calculates how much money it would cost to make a book, and so it rounded up to a total of about $3, and that to make a profit of around $5, which I hope to make, I would have to have the price of the book at about $10, but since we are shipping the book to customers, we're making them pay shipping costs. Shipping.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not Amazon, so we do have to pay to ship the books to us, and so we have a rough number there per book.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna figure out how much it'll cost to mail the book to friends and family who purchase it. It's probably gonna be media mail now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And that's relatively cheap, but we'll have to be sure to put that in there. So the pricing right now we don't quite have fleshed out, but we have a rough idea of what it'll be. $10 to $12, something like that for the comic.
Yeah, something simple. All right, so after that.
Oh, and the name of Asher's book is Clutch Factor, by the way.
Yeah.
So we forgot to say that at the beginning, but go ahead.
So for Clutch Factor, wait, is this when I go to Claude?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my frame for my book. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna be saying
what'd you say?
frame for.
Yeah, you're gonna frame it for Claude, yeah. So.
Okay, so
we're gonna pick up from here. Tell me what you did with Claude to build the script that you have.
So basically, using Claude, I framed how my book would go. So basically, I had described what I had in mind, which was about 60-70% I had done out of what I wanted, and I gave Claude some information like the ranking system and powers and stuff like that. So using that information, Claude had made up the rest of the story, and I've printed out the acts and the scenes for my book.
And one thing I'll say here is, Asher's not, he's not published a comic book before, so he's sort of learning on multiple dimensions. So as Asher said, he had 60-70% of his book already figured out. It's a guy who gets sucked into a
portal, and he basically gets teleported into this game that he was playing, and him and his friends also get sucked in. They have to figure their way out.
And so what we used Claude for was kind of a writing coach, sort of co-writing, as you will, and also it framed it for us in the standard 3-act structure that Asher just described. So we used Claude to get that right, and also helped sort of lay out at least the beginning dialogue for the book. Now in the end, Asher's own style is going to dictate the sound and feel of the book. And also I'm helping him making sure that the story is engaging enough as well. So Claude's been really helpful. We've used ChatGPT and Gemini as well for the writing, just to see what worked. But Claude so far has helped us out the most.
Yes. All right. So after I've basically got all my scenes figured out, I started making storyboards. It's very weird.
Storyboards.
Oh my goodness, wrong.
That's okay. We got a whole bunch of sketches going back and forth here. So
Yeah. So basically, I made storyboards that would kind of like show what the scenes were about, and that would frame my comic book a little more, and what I could use to make pictures and images of what I wanted. So, and this took me probably a full like 9 to 5, maybe an hour shorter, something like that. But did take a while, so that was hard. But
and so yeah, this is probably the most challenging part of the work. Asher's learning that this is the first week of his summer camp, if you will. His business is his summer camp. So I'll see if I can get closer and you can see some of the sketches. So the idea is it's supposed to be thumbnail quality, which is intended to be fast, but to lay out the frames and also to really flesh out the story. So he did his 28 pages, and they're all thumbnails on purpose, along with a little dialogue along the way to make sure that he's actually hitting certain story beats and it sounds right. Otherwise, he still has a lot of opportunity to change it before he dedicates all his time to making the final art.
Yeah.
And all the final art is going to be done with AI, which we'll show you now.
Yeah. All right. So basically, the way I made my characters was an app called Together, which some of you probably would know because you know about that AI. And basically, I would be using prompts. For example, like I would say, like, give me a 20-year-old male with brown hair and some blue eyes. And after it gave me the image, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I should make him a little bit stronger or something. So I would edit the prompt, that way I could, get what I want. So after, for example, I got what I wanted, like this image, I would take it to this app to delete the background. Oh, wrong one. And I would upload the image from over here and then drag it from the files over here, and it would take away the background, and I could have my character and I could insert it into the background.
And let me jump in real quick on that. So for those of you who are interested in this, you can go to Hugging Face if you're familiar with Hugging Face. And this is actually pretty nice. I have 2 or 3 different ways that I like to remove backgrounds, but this has been the nicest one I've seen so far. I've used different techniques. We even were actually in Photoshop clicking and masking stuff out, which is a real drag. Anyway, you can check out Anime Remove Background from Hugging Face. Really pleased with the quality. Now, Asher, why are you making your characters and clearing the background? What's the point?
So basically, using these characters without their backgrounds would allow me to insert them into my background of my image that I made with another AI website called Midjourney that I'm pretty sure a lot of you are familiar with because it's one of the leading background stuff.
Which is just art models.
Models.
It's one of the leading generation models. You guys are real familiar with it. But it hasn't been really great for the character generation, but it's been really good for the backgrounds. So why don't you show them some of these just for a second?
So, for example, this is one of the portals it came up with and stuff. And I made a lot of
houses to start the scene.
Yeah.
These, by the way, we're also doing prompt management here. So go over and look in this one here. We're maintaining Asher's prompts. So there's a bunch of character prompts that he's iterating on for running and falling and turning away and the emotions and all of this. So we've standardized the prompts in tabs, and he's also got prompts for his scenes. The prompts also include specifics around the anime style, where the camera is located, and if it's a character, what kind of emotion, and all the clothing. And every time we send that, I'll go over to Together again. We send it with a character sheet that he generated earlier, and I'll just quickly show that character sheet. This is one of them for him. So he passes that along with his prompt to Together AI, and we're currently using a Flux model. It's Flux Context Pro. We like that one so far.
Yeah.
So that just gives you an idea of the workflow. But I encourage you, if you're doing this kind of work, just open up a Google Doc and start saving those prompts as you go through. It'll really help you when you're tweaking your stuff as you go.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you show how I bring it all together?
Okay, so basically using Midjourney, as you know, I would create my background image that I would like, and I would save it to, or I would download it to the files, and then drag it over to
This is Illustrator.
Illustrator.
Mhm.
Sorry about that. And I would drag it in a 3 panel comic by a 16 by 9.
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah.
So with a 16 by 9 kind of
Image size.
and I would drag my characters in and put them in the image. See, all these characters I dragged in and twisted around and stuff.
Mhm.
So, for example, this one, you do it. I don't
That's
even
fine.
know how you
So-
got there.
So, well, actually, Asher's pretty familiar with this now. So, in addition to learning AI and practicing his business skills, he's actually learning Illustrator, which is not trivial, and he's also learning a little bit of Photoshop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what you see here are his storyboards, but they will actually be the comic too. And we're just going to zoom in real quick in case you guys aren't familiar with this. And we're going to look specifically at one example. If I can get to it. There we go. So this is one of the images that Asher built in Midjourney in the background. And then, as he showed you a second ago, this is actually one of the characters that he generated with the Flux model. And then he ran it through that background filter that removed background. And then he was sitting on a stool, and we just erased that. And he just placed it on the
Couch.
Placed it on the couch. And then, of course, what we are doing, just to sort of save time, is we're not doing a standard comic that has pictures and stuff all over the place. We're leaving captions at the bottom to help to standardize it so he can move quickly, because it takes a while to make a full comic.
And it'll help me if I do have time to make sort of like a video trailer kind of thing, because I did want to do that, but it doesn't really make too much money, so.
Yep, so we're hoping to have Asher practice his business skills on the sale of the comics, but the trailer's interesting as well. We want to see what VO can do for us these days, hopefully. Otherwise, there's some other models as well that we can use.
Yeah.
That's kind of it. So we hope you follow along and enjoy. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you. Thank you.